everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bella and today we're going to be doing a no foundation makeup look. As you guys know, it's already summer and it's a little bit hotter outside than it usually is, and when it comes to times like this, someone may not always want to wear foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the makeup routine that I follow when I don't feel like wearing foundation, and this is kind of the makeup routine that I wear to school, the makeup routine that I'll just throw on if I have errands to run, something kind of just quick and easy. But yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing me create this makeup look, then please keep on watching. So I want to go ahead and mention before we get started today that there is going to be some links in the description box that I really want you guys to check out. If you haven't already, click the link that I've been providing in my description box for you guys, and you don't know that it has a bunch of resources for you guys to read up on. You guys can donate to different fundraisers, you guys can sign different petitions, you guys can call your local politicians, you guys can do a whole bunch of stuff that will be making a much bigger of an impact than you guys already know. But please check that out. It really means a lot to me, and it means a lot to people who are actually doing something about this movement. So I went ahead and already did my eyebrows off camera, and we can finally move on to the skin. The way that you guys do your eyebrows is really up to you. If you want to do them more natural, if you want to do them, you know, the way that you normally do them. This is kind of the normal way that I do my brows. They look the same as they always do right now. Like I said, that's really up to you. If you guys don't really follow any type of skincare, it's really important that you at least wear sunscreen. And I use this one from CeraVe. This is the Ultra Light Moisturizing Lotion, and this has an SPF of 30 in it. This is a moisturizer that I just use in the morning before I start my day, because I know that if I go out in the sun, I want sunscreen on my skin. And if you guys don't do any other skin prep, please at least moisturize. So since I'm not going to be wearing foundation in this look, I'm going to go for a primer that's a little bit more pore filling, that maybe has a little bit of a tint to it. And the only primer that I have that does that is really the Professional, and this has a little bit of like a nude tint to it, so it helps smooth out the appearance of your skin, and it also helps fill the pores a little bit. And I like to focus that in the T-zone and then just kind of work it around the face so that way it's evenly distributed across my whole entire face. And so the next step would be to spot conceal. That is, of course, if you have anything that you want to spot conceal. I usually go for the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Light 2.6 or Café con Leche, or I'll use the Born This Way Too Faced concealer. These concealers both have really good coverage. This one's a little bit more watery, and I really do like this one, but it's a little bit too dark to use just a spot concealer, so I always kind of have to use it with another concealer to lighten it up. But what I'll do is I'll just go into the dark spots. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but I have a lot of little red spots on my cheeks, and I have a lot of veins that you can see through my skin, which isn't really that bad thing, but it's just something that's noticeable and something that I can see on my face, which kind of takes away from the smooth and clear complexion. So I like to go ahead and cover that stuff up. I'll put the darker concealer kind of in my darker areas, so where my skin gathers, like here on the side of my nose or on the side of my mouth a little bit. And I usually do like a little bit of triangle onto my forehead. I know people are gonna say this is basically putting foundation on, but it's really not the same, because having a whole layer of foundation on feels totally different than just a little bit of spot concealer. And if you guys don't have blemishes, then you can totally skip this step. So you don't have to put it in the same exact spots as me, but these are just the spots that I feel I need the most attention and the most, you know, concealing. And then I'll just take what's left on my sponge and kind of go over my nose a little bit to, you know, hide some of the dark spots that I have in there, because I do get acne on my nose. And then my cheeks are a little bit lighter because I exfoliate quite often. So I'm gonna take my Too Faced concealer and just kind of dab it in the spots where I have the darkest marks. And now I'm gonna go in with a little brush and blend those out. I like to use the Morphe Y8 brush, and I'm pretty sure this brush is like made for bronzers and stuff, but what I like to do is take it and I'll just dab it over the spot without really moving it around much, just to kind of blend out that concealer and keep it in the spot that I applied it in without taking away the coverage. And just dabbing it really makes a big difference. So I'm just gonna blend that out everywhere. And the key is to really just dab up and down. I really like this method to help cover up the spots that I have without having to do a full entire face of foundation. So I want to show you guys this is what my skin looks like after I spot concealed. And of course you can still see some of the red marks and some of the veins on my face, but it's not nearly as prominent as it was before. So next I'm going to take a little bit of concealer, and I still want my face to have a little bit of dimension. I don't want it to be super flat and plain. So I'm going to get a concealer that's lighter and really just put like the teeniest bit of that underneath my eyes, and I'm not gonna put that anywhere else. And then with my sponge I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out. And I'm really trying to just keep that directly under my eyes. I'm not bringing it too far down into this area right here. And this step is completely up to you, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring some of that concealer onto my lids. And I'm not gonna make it super full coverage, but I am just gonna give it a little wash of the product so that my eyelids don't look super red in comparison to my under eyes. Okay, so next I'm gonna set the face, and I'm gonna use the Fit Me Loose powder. This one's in the shade 10. You guys can use whichever powder you like to set. A translucent powder would work best in this case if you want it to look like skin. But yeah, I'm gonna put this in the spots that we applied the concealer. And instead of baking or anything like that, I'm gonna go ahead and use a brush to set my under eye, and I'm just patting it in directly underneath my eyes. And then I bring that up on my nose. No matter what I do for my makeup, I always powder my nose because I have super oily skin and it never fails for my nose to look super greasy. So I just go ahead and take that precaution by powdering it religiously. And then I kind of take my finger and go over my lid a little bit to kind of bring back some of my natural lid color. And next I'm gonna take the same powder but on a bigger powder brush, and I'm gonna focus that in my T-zone area and kind of just put it on the rest of my face as well. This is a really light set. So usually when I do a look like this, I don't like to look super chiseled. I kind of like to look a little bit more glowy and a little bit more rosy at the same time. So in order to that, I move on straight to the blush after I set my face. I like to use a blush that's a little bit more orange tone so it can kind of not bronze my skin but give my skin a little bit of color. And this is from No in the shade Desert Rose. I'm gonna take like a little fluffy brush and I'm gonna put that up here kind of where my highlight would be. So I'm just dabbing that right above the apples of my cheeks, and I'm kind of blending it back here onto my cheekbone. And from the front you guys can see that kind of shapes my face even just a little bit. I'm gonna do that on the other side as well. And I even kind of bring that a little bit up under here underneath the eyes into this area right here. And I like to make sure that the rosiest point is the highest point. And then I'll brush some of that blush up onto my temples as well, a little bit onto my chin because I'm just trying to add color to my face. And then I'm also gonna take this blush and put a whole lot of blush on the tip of my nose. As you can see, there's kind of some harsh lines around it. I'm gonna take my powder brush and just go over that and kind of diffuse it a little bit. And the only contouring on my face that I'll do when I'm doing this makeup look is the contouring of my nose, because my nose is a little bit wide if I don't contour it, especially when I'm wearing makeup, because the concealer kind of just makes it look flat. So I like to go ahead and add some dimension back into it with bronzer. So I'll just take my little angled fluffy brush and I'll start up in here in the inner corner of my eye, and I'll bring it downward onto the bridge of my nose and just run it back and forth down the sides. And I like to add a whole lot of contour to the bottom of my nose because then it kind of lifts it up a little bit, kind of gives it that button appearance that everyone tries so hard to get, especially me. And I'll also contour the tip of my nose, and then I'll take my sponge and take the pointy side and start up here in the inner corner and just bake down the sides of this bronzer to help cut it a little bit more, make it look a little bit more clean. And then I'm also gonna cut the tip right here and also the bridge. Now this step is optional. If you guys don't want your cheekbones to be carved out, you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna just do a little bit of powder also underneath where my bronzer would be because it's gonna help create a contrast. So by now the powder has been sitting long enough. I really don't leave it sitting for that long. It sits for like probably 5 to 10 seconds, just as long as it takes me to apply it, and then I'll brush it off. All right, so next step for the complexion would be the highlighter, and I'm gonna use Laura Geller Gilded Honey. Bruh. This literally just fell out of the pan because it's broken. But I like to use this with my fingers, and it looks really reflective when you apply with your fingers, almost like glass. So what I'll do is I'll just pop a little smile, and wherever the highest point of my cheekbone is, I'll apply it. But I don't like to put it right here in this area because then it's gonna distract from the blush. I keep it up here on my brow bone, and I kind of make like a little C shape with my highlight. You guys will see what I'm talking about in a second. And I'll just take my finger and dab it up onto my cheekbones. You can see already kind of making that highlight. And if it gets a little bit too blinding, you can take your other finger and kind of diffuse out the edges or whatever you need to diffuse out. And what I like about this is you can go back and reapply more on top of it, and it'll make it look even better. It doesn't make it look worse. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw some on the tip of my nose. I usually do a lot on the tip of my nose always. And then of course the bridge of my nose as well. And then I'll do some above my brow bone right here. Now that I'm done with the face, we can go ahead ahead and move on to the eyes. I lied, I'm gonna do one more step, but it's totally optional. I'm gonna take my brow palette and this little angled brush, and I'm gonna use the tip of the angled brush to make some faux freckles. I've done this a few times in the past like week or so, and I really like how it looks. I don't do anything super crazy, and I have natural freckles on my cheeks already, but I kind of just like to accentuate them, especially if I have like acne scars or whatever on my face. This kind of helps to camouflage them a little bit better. I like to spread them out here kind of onto my cheekbone area because that's where my natural freckles are. I'll do a little bit on my nose. Also, I'm gonna put some up here on my forehead. The goal with this is to make them look as natural as possible. So like I said, that step is completely optional. You don't have to do it. The next step in this routine would be to put on some lashes. If you are not the type of person to wear lashes, you can always just throw on some mascara and call it a day, but I like to wear lashes, so I'm gonna put lashes on. And for lashes, I'm gonna use the Kiss lashes in the style Black Swan. These are made to look a little bit like eyelash extensions, and they really don't look like eyelash extensions when you put them on. They're really flattering and they're really easy to curl. The hairs aren't super thick and they just look really pretty on, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so there's what the lashes look like, and they're pretty natural looking. Not really, I mean, but like they're not super full or dramatic. They're just, you know, a nice length. So for lips, I recently discovered this new combo that I really like to wear with my natural looking makeup, and I like to line my lips with the NYX Nude Truffle Lip Liner and fill them in with this ColourPop Just a Tint Lippy Stick, which is in the shade Island Time. And so I'm just gonna line my lips with this lip liner really quickly. All right, so I kind of went for that straight Cupid's bow line right there, and now that I have that outline, I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in with this lipstick. And this lipstick is like a glossy nude brown, and what I like to do afterward is go back in with the lip liner and then kind of redefine that outside line a little bit, and that's it. Now we're gonna do setting spray and we'll be completely done. Whatever setting spray you use is really up to you. You don't even really have to use setting spray since we're not wearing a whole bunch of liquid makeup, but I'm just gonna use this Urban Decay Pollution Protection one. No specific reason why I grabbed this one, I just picked it up out of my drawer. So, and that's it for this makeup look. It's really quick and easy and to the point. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know if you guys try out this makeup look, and if you do, please tag me in your pictures on Instagram if you decide to post any, or you guys can DM them to me. If you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, I'll have everything linked down below. Again, please don't forget to check out some petitions or foundations or some books or articles that you guys can read up on to educate yourselves. Please do so. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed 100, 1,000 million%. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.